Saw dudes. So Bungie released the Season 22 abilities and armor changes preview and it is looking pretty good for everyone. Although Suspend, Thread of Mind, and Thread of Generation will be nerfed, we are looking at some really nice buffs to Threadlings, Tangles, and Sever. We are also going to receive a buff to the Strand Warlock aspect, the Wanderer, so the build that we are using today will only get stronger in Season 22. Today's build focuses on using Swarmers to create our own little armies. We can be a support, tank, and DPS powerhouse all in one. Let's get started. Needlestorm is the only super we can use, but is great for burst DPS and spawning green babies from JoJo's. I chose to use Healing Rift for the security that it provides. Since we're moving a lot, I don't think Empowering Rift is worth it, since momentary healing is much better. The only melee choice we have is Arcane Needle, which unravels enemies, and for the grenade, I chose to use Threadling Grenade, which synergizes with Swarmers directly for easy mass unraveling. Aspects for this build are the soon-to-be buffed Wanderer and Weaver's Call. At the moment, the Wanderer makes Tangles we throw seek and attach to enemies. After attaching to enemies, the Tangle explodes and suspends enemies within 6 meters. Also, our Threadling kills can now create Tangles. Next season, the suspension radius will go from 6 to 7 meters, and destroying the Tangle will provide the same effect as throwing it. Weaver's Call causes our Rift cast to create 3 Threadling eggs and deploy any perched Threadlings. The fragments for this build are Thread of Evolution, Generation, Mind, and Rebirth. Evolution causes Threadlings to travel 30% faster and deal 33% more damage. Generation grants grenade ability energy for each damage instance, with the amount varying on the source of damage. Mind grants class ability energy on killing enemies affected by Suspend, and lastly, Rebirth causes our Strand weapon kills to spawn Threadlings based on a counter system. Let's cover the jellyfish armor real quick. On the helmet, I use Harmonic Siphon, Special Ammo Finder, and Dynamo. Dynamo can be swapped out for Heavy Ammo Finder. For the gloves, I went with the Grenade Kickstart, Bolstering Detonation, and Impact Induction. When it came to the gown, I equipped Harmonic Reserves and 2 Variable Resistance mods. Switch these out depending on the activity. On Swarmers, I chose to go with Recuperation, Absolution, and Harmonic Scavenger. And on the Bond, that looks like an alien, was Bomber, Distribution, and Powerful Attraction. Distribution can be subbed out for Reaper if you want more orb generation. 100 resilience isn't a must since we will have other methods of surviving damage, but getting at least 80 is good. Discipline and recovery are the next best stats to max. Let's move on to the weapon loadout section. Weapon loadout 1 utilizes the Navigator Exotic Trace Rifle, which will be taking up our exotic slot. The Navigator spits out a green apple flavored laser that provides us and allies woven mail and severs enemies. Tier 10 resilience in woven mail alone brings us to 72% damage resist, and the ability to apply to teammates makes us an anchor for the team. I chose to use posterity in the energy slot due to Volt Shot. It's a great ad clear perk and stuns overload champions. Hand cannons will be getting buffed next season, so that's another point for using it. In the heavy slot, I'm making use of the Thin Precipice Sword. This sword can roll a chain reaction or hatchling, and it plays perfectly in this build as an added piece of defense. Weapon loadout 2 takes out the Navigator and emphasizes more on long-range DPS, using our Threadlings as a pseudo-barrier against adds. In the kinetic slot, I used the Immortal SMG. I rolled mine with Surplus and Hatchling for extra green babies. If you don't have the Immortal, I suggest using Red Robin. In the energy slot, I ran Cloud Strike for the long-range DPS and ad clear. Ever since I got it, I have been loving it. It covers a lot of areas that Threadlings can't, so it's a perfect fit. In the heavy slot, I'm using Half Truths for the mobility provided by Eager Edge. If you don't have Half Truths, you can use Hothead instead for normal rocket DPS. The game loop for this build isn't really set in stone, but that's a good thing since you can remain flexible. Start your encounters by throwing your Threadling Grenade and Arcane Needles. Use Navigator to gain woven mail and sever priority targets. Use cover where possible and drop rifts to regain ability and super energy. All of this will create orbs and refund grenade energy, restarting the cycle. The best piece of advice is to play safe no matter the amount of damage resist. Let the Threadlings do the work and put in damage from safe areas. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm glad I can now come out with content that you guys voted for. This is amazing to me and super exciting. Thank you for watching and happy farming.